On this episode of Whether or Not, we have nature in the news stories incorporating ice in supernatural forms. Drew has the forecast for the upcoming weekend, and Colby has a feature looking at the newest exec board for the campus weather service. Don't go away, Whether or Not starts right now. Welcome to another episode of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Debicki.
And I'm your forecaster, Drew Narsutis.
Well, Drew, we saw some wintry action here earlier on this week in State College.
We sure do. It is starting to look about seasonable. The temperatures are around where you'd expect them, 32 degrees. And we did get that nice Alberta clipper to come right out of Canada, bring with it a nice boon of snowfall. Not much we've seen so far this winter, so it was nice to get a little glimpse of it throughout the week.
Yeah, I brought out my snow boots. It became a little slippery out there, especially with the accumulations, but I'm interested to see what the weather holds for this weekend.
It should, Punxsutawney Phil gave his 2 cents earlier, and now it's my turn to try and show him up and show him what I got,
All right. Well, on to our segment of Nature in the News.
The first all-time national heat record of 2017 was set in a spectacular fashion on Thursday in Chile, where at least 12 different stations recorded a temperature in excess of the nation's previous all-time heat record of 107 degrees Fahrenheit. According to the International Weather Records researcher Maximilio Herrera, the hottest station on Thursday hit 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Herrera mentioned that the extraordinarily high temperatures on Thursday in Chile could have been due to, in part, the severe effects of the wildfires burning in the hottest areas of Santiago, Chile. Residents say their towns feel like a Dante's Inferno. Authorities have declared a state of national emergency in Chile due to the wildfires on January 20th, and as of January 26th, more than 100 fires burned throughout the fire-stricken areas. At least 10 people have been killed in the fires, including 4 firefighters and 2 policemen. According to the professionals, the fires have consumed 178,000 acres of land and damaged the timber industry with an estimated $40 million in damages. Unfortunately, hot, dry weather and high temperatures in the 90s are expected to continue throughout the next week in Santiago.
State College will be given the opportunity to make its name known to the world when community members will attempt to break a world record for the largest ice luminary display across the globe. The Make Space organization is engaging the surrounding community to form a healthy democracy through ice. Currently, the Guinness Book of World Records is set at 2,651 ice luminaries for one event located in Sweden. All State College community members are encouraged to assist in brightening the display by bringing their own homemade contribution to Allen Street between Beaver and College Avenues from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. on February 4th. The official Light Up State College event will kick off at 6 p.m. local time.
After several big rain events in January, the wet season is quickly turning into one of the strongest on record for many parts of northwestern Australia. The town of Fitzroy Crossing reached a rainfall total of 29 inches between October 1st and January 31st. This is the highest the town's received since records started being kept in 1893. A tropical low which swept across the north of Australia last week failed to turn into a cyclone, but it delivered steady rain to the northwest of Australia. The nearby Lake Argyll overflowed, highways were cut, and according to Glenn Cook from the Weather Bureau, there is more to come. Glenn thinks that February looks like it has the potential to be very similar to January. The outlook suggests that parts of Western Australia have very strong likelihoods of seeing above-average rainfall. The weather forecast models are even suggesting another potential low off the coast to come into the area for the next week or so. So unfortunately, it looks like more of the same in terms of monsoonal weather for northwest Australia.
Large lumps have been washing up along the beach at the mouth of the Tokachi River on Hokkaido, the northern island of Japan. These lumps shine like precious jewels as they lay atop the Japanese sand. What are these shiny lumps? These glistening gems are just ice chunks spit out by the river and tumbled by ocean waves onto the island. They're called Tokachi River ice, jewelry ice, or jewel ice, and they appear only here and only during the coldest winter months. When temperatures are well below freezing, the mouth of the crystal clear river freezes over. Then the ice breaks into chunks that float out into the ocean only to wash up on shore. There, the polished blocks accumulate but eventually melt into the sand.
Well, it's a hello to our central Pennsylvania forecast and a goodbye to those milder conditions that we were having. The beginning of this weekend starts a little bit cool outside. Our main weather producer for Friday is this high-pressure system out to our west. Winds around this like to whip around in a clockwise motion, which brings a lot of cold air over these relatively moist, warm and moist bodies of water. That breaks the air downwind of them. Very moist, as we can see. Cloudy conditions to our south and in most of the mid-Atlantic. Up here to the northeast, we have a lot of lake effect snow occurring. So Friday could be a very cloudy day with maybe a scattered flake here or there, but I'd rule it out for the most part. We're also in a very zonal wind pattern, which means a lot of west to east motion in the wind, but not much north to south. What that means is these pressure systems are going to be moving pretty fast. As you can see, in one day, this high pressure system already made its way to Ohio. That's about 4 states in one day. This is bringing clear conditions to the skies to the south of us. And as we talked about with the wind moving over these warmer air, the north will still be pretty moist. So we could be seeing a bit of sunshine today, thankfully, although we will have some clouds to stick around in the area. What we have to look forward to is this low pressure system off to our west. On the downwind side of major mountain ranges is a great place for a breeding ground for low pressure systems. And here we have a textbook example just to the east of the Rockies. We have this low pressure system growing, and as we talked about with this zonal wind pattern, we see this high pressure system is by Sunday already off into the Atlantic, and we have the low pressure system in the middle of the Great Lakes, bringing with it a widespread amount of snow to most of the area in the northeast. Friday, 23 degrees, mostly cloudy outside, a little bit chilly, and it only gets worse going into Friday evening. 15 degrees, cold and windy outside. Winds are going to be sustained at about 10 miles per hour, so the wind chill could get to about 10 degrees, or almost 0 degrees outside. Very cold Friday. Saturday gets much better, 31 degrees. Sunshine peeks through, so good day to get outside or at least open up a window. And then Sunday, we have our big weather maker, 32 degrees outside, seasonable temperatures and flurries due to that low pressure system. Now we'll talk, Colby has our feature on the campus weather service.
I'm here on the 6th floor of the Walker Building in the radio broadcast booth to talk about Campus Weather Service. Here's where they create and distribute their radio forecasts, but that's just one service that they provide of many. We're going to look at some of the new members of the Executive Board and what changes they're implementing to improve the accuracy and productivity of Campus Weather Service forecasts. From its first forecast in January of 1969, Campus Weather Service, or CWS, has grown into a quintessential organization for meteorology students to join here at Penn State. It now operates with around 100 student meteorologists who provide forecasts for all regions of Pennsylvania. Some are responsible for writing forecasts for the CWS website, which is updated 3 times daily, while others provide forecasts for the Penn State student newspaper, the Daily Collegian. Other CWS services include providing forecasts on the radio, as well as on-the-air forecast for their website and social media accounts. As the spring 2017 semester kicks off here at Penn State, a few select students were chosen to be the new leaders of CWS, including the new president, vice president, head of forecasting, and head of communications. I was fortunate enough to talk with the new head of forecasting, Addis Juklo, about what made him join CWS, as well as his plans for the future of CWS forecasting.
Well, when I entered Penn State, I began at a Commonwealth campus. Much like every other meteorology major, I was very much so into the weather. And one of the things that you hear about when you enter Penn State meteorology is, of course, Campus Weather Service, a student-led team of 100 or so people that forecast the weather for the entire state. And, you know, as somebody who's into the weather, that's something that you always look forward to and something that you want to do, especially coming out of high school, which, in high school we kind of don't really have anything like that. So once you enter college, that's like your first real experience with forecasting the weather. So I think just that anticipation of finally working with other people that share the same interest as you just kind of drives you to enter a club like that. So what I have begun to do is try to emphasize an increase in collaboration between the shifts. And to do that, we put up a new link now on the dashboard of the Campus Weather Service site that allows shift managers to go in and put a note for the next shift manager to read. So that way, when people enter the next shift, they don't have to start from scratch. They can look at what they have, see maybe what the last shift manager said, and kind of work from there. And by doing this, we'll have a lot more continuity in the forecast, and that's an ultimate goal as the forecasters here at Campus Weather Service. Not only that, but I want to try to emphasize more collaboration in the shifts as well. So I don't want the shift manager just coming in and kind of doing his or her forecasts and then everybody leaving. I want there to be more collaboration between the shift manager and the forecaster, so that way all the forecasts look accurate and there's smooth transitions between the regions that we forecast for. And lastly, I just want to emphasize a little bit more fun. I'm always trying to push for people to do live briefings. I know last semester I did a live briefing on Facebook every shift, and that kind of, I think, made the whole experience a little bit more enjoyable.
Fresh off of his trip to the American Meteorological Society's annual meeting in Seattle, I also had the chance to catch up with the new head of communications, Noah Berggren, on his plans to improve the on-air forecasts made by CWS.
So far in Campus Weather Service, I've worked to continue the advancement and success of the Campus Weather Service. Going forward, I'm looking to instill more of a sense of continuity, as is the head of forecasting. So each shift, the shift manager knows what the prior shift was thinking and what they were doing. Also, I'm looking forward to hosting Bernie Rayno for a broadcast video critique, hopefully, in the near future with Campus Weather Service members, so that's very exciting. Also, we're going to be hosting a table in the hub during lunch hour to get our message out and to get more of the student body to check our social media and our forecasts online.
With dedicated students such as Addis and Noah at the reign of the oldest and largest student-run forecasting organization in the country, the future is bright for CWS, and they will strive to continue to provide Pennsylvania a forecast featuring professionalism, accuracy, and a bit of fun. I hope you enjoyed hearing about those new plans for the future, and I look forward to seeing what people like Addis and Noah, as well as the rest of the Executive Board, can bring to Campus Weather Service. For Weather or Not, this is Colby McCabe.
Welcome back to your extended forecast. First, let's take a look at our weekend recap, starting with Friday. 23 degrees outside, cool and windy. The evening temperatures and wind is going to make it a little bit unbearable. However, Saturday we are rewarded 26 degrees and sunshine breaking through those clouds, so open up a window or at least go outside and something, take advantage of that. Sunday we have our interesting weather comes in, warmer with flurries, 33 degrees. Our accumulation, our estimates are around under half an inch, so no more than a half of an inch of snow should be coming on Sunday here in State College. Looking at our extended forecast, we have a stormy, warm middle of the week. The week starts off very calm here on Monday, partly cloudy skies, seasonable temperatures. However, we see this temperature spike and along with these precipitation on Tuesday and Wednesday, mostly rain. However, we could see some sleet, some freezing rain or something along those lines here. And then we have a very tranquil end to our week here in State College.
Well, thank you, Drew, for that forecast. Looks like the weekend's going to remain cold, but as we head into the work week, we're going to start to see it change.
Yes,
over.
Unfortunately, those seasonable temperatures are gone, and we will be seeing some below average temperatures come the first part of the weekend. However, about Sunday into about Wednesday, we should be seeing a pretty big spike in the temperatures. Possibly Wednesday could be 20 degrees above what it is normally for that time of year. Unfortunately, we will be seeing some weekend wetness, or some midweek wetness, along with this increased temperature. So, you know, got to take a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
And as Groundhog Day has come and gone, let's take another look at the whiz quiz question we asked you earlier on in the show. In what year did the first ever Groundhog Day occur? Is it A, 1868, B, 1887, C, 1904, or D, 1915? If you guess B, you are correct.
Yes, that's true. Punxsutawney Phil made his debut forecast in 1887, and the holiday has its roots in Pennsylvania German customs and its origins in ancient European weather lore. This year's Groundhog Day marks the 131st year of the holiday.
131 years going strong, and the tradition will continue on even into our future.
It's quite an impressive tradition, I must say.
Yes. Well, that's all the time we have for right now. I'm your host, Allie Debicki.
And I'm your forecaster, Drew Narsutis. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.